What's going on? We are back, reality after show. I'm here with more Squid Game, The Challenge Season 2 interviews. And today I have Justin, player 378 in the house. Justin, how are you?
Good. How are you, Lauren? Thanks for having me.
Of course, happy to have you here. And I cannot wait to dive into your game.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. So I want to start from the very beginning for you. What made you want to play Squid Game?
So, to be honest, I was watching season one. I don't really watch a whole lot of reality TV. My wife does, but we were watching season one, and the last episode, it had this little prompt that came up in a QR code or whatever, and it was like interesting casting season two. And my wife just playfully was like, "Do you think you can go on there and win?" And me being the competitor I am, I was like, "Hell yeah, I could." And then it went back and forth, but she's like, "Just sign up." I'm like, "I'm not gonna sign up." Finally, she's like, basically, she's like, "You're just scared. Like that's why you won't sign up." So she egged me on, and then I signed up. In my minute-long video, my submission video, I was just basically like, "I'm just doing this to prove my wife that I can win, and that I don't really need the money. Like if I did get the money, I'd probably just buy like a tractor, some land, or something." But that's honestly how it went, and it's crazy that they had 170,000 people, and that's what they picked off of. But yeah, that's how I entered.
So your wife didn't want to do it. She just wanted you to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, she knows I'm a fierce competitor, so I think that was part of it. And then we have some young kids. Not that it's her responsibility, but I think she would have a harder time being away from them than me. Not that I didn't miss them, but I don't think I don't think she could separate herself from the kids for, I was there for almost 3 weeks. But yeah, she just knew I was just highly competitive and I'm just adventurous and just up for a challenge. So yeah.
During casting, because we know this happens, did they ever ask you, is there somebody else you would want to play the game with?
You know what? They did, and I didn't even think anything of it. Like selfishly, I just wanted to go on there and experience this for myself. I mean, I have one really close friend back in Kentucky. I live in Washington State. I've just always wanted to be out west, but my home is Kentucky, and I know I had one friend that would have done it back home. But he's got a busy schedule too. He's the head volleyball coach. He does a lot of things, but I think selfishly, I just wanted to do it by myself and just hop on there. I kind of after watching the show, it probably went way different if I had a relative or something in there with me because they made an emphasis on pre-existing relationships. But I still think I'd do it again by myself. Maybe I don't know.
This season was loaded with the pairings, and they were heavily highlighted because they made that design on
Yeah,
purpose in the sense of very much so at the beginning of the game, they were looking for two pairings to step forward.
right. And they cut that from the show, so a lot of people were wondering why the twins stepped up. But they're going in the first day in the dorms. It's crazy, but you could clearly see like who was related. There was like four, maybe five sets of twins, and then there was of course Kurt and Zoe, then Jeff and Perla. A lot of brothers and sisters. Claire, who made it really far, her sister was actually in there. Um, but yeah, when he came out, he's like, we need two people to volunteer, but you have to be related. And it went back and forth. Kurt and Zoe almost stepped up and volunteered, but it ended up being the twins. I think they didn't really want to at first. That was kind of the vibe. So it's kind of shocking to see them step up, but it was really interesting to see them cut that part of the show. You think they'd include that, but that's the only reason why they volunteered.
Right, because as we're watching, we're going, anyone can step up. It can
Yeah,
be two people, two random people, they could know
right.
each other. And then
Yeah,
to come find out when I do all these podcasts, oh no, 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 it had
yeah,
to be two known people.
yeah, yeah. It was, dude. It was so weird that the stuff they chose to keep out like that. I've not seen the show anymore since I died. To be honest, I didn't even watch the finale. My wife did. I'm just not no ill will. It was just I don't know. It was really hard to watch because like losing the only game of chance, like that bothered me for months after I got out because I got so close to winning. But yeah, I didn't even watch it. But there were so many like like the Marvel stuff, like watching all those people like get eliminated and not showing like the other one. Like I just spawned in the dorm the next day with like no context or whatever. I'm trying to think of some other examples. They left a lot out. Like, sorry, this isn't very good. I'm trying to blank, but
It's
it was
okay.
just weird that they picked and choose like what to incorporate. But
Can we just jump ahead a little bit here and just go all the way to the slides and ladders? Because I really want to highlight and talk about this with you.
okay.
Y'all were so close, what we see on the edit, right
Yeah.
at the very top. And I'm thinking, orange team's going all the way through.
I
They're
know,
right
dude.
there.
I know. Well, that's like another thing, that they left out. They like, unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of like screen time. They didn't show me my interviews and things, but it was just weird, like that Drake and Mackenzie would pick us with no context. Like, because I feel like most people didn't know who me and Emily were at that point. Um, but we were all super close. But yeah, when they picked us, dude, I was shocked. I was like, "Are you sure you're like what?" It was crazy. So we went up there and they cut it out, but I just had too much fun in there. So when I was up there, I actually had my goggles at, like my binoculars, looking down, just like talking shit, because I was like, "We're 3 spots away. There's no way we're not winning this." And I let Emily roll the whole time. She told me she was feeling lucky. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let fate pick this. Like, I've got no control over this, right? And that was really hard too, because like, I don't know, losing and not having any kind of control of how the game and the outcome went, that was tough. But anyway, I was like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And she rolled the one after we got picked, which was another ladder, which shot us up. So we're like 3 spots away. I was like, fuck yeah, just keep rolling. And then it was a weird edit, because when we were playing, they were like, the die has to tumble. And I don't know how they did it when we were watching it, but they made the dice look like it rolled. But when she rolled it, I'm not even joking, it hit the slide and it just fell right down on the one. It got stuck on the one, because we would try to manipulate the dice, right? Like, so we knew, like, if we wanted to get a number, we try to flip it, because we had, those 3 sides or whatever. There was a good chance. And so we had the one side, it was like 1, 3, 6, whatever. Anyway, she went to flip it and it hit the slide and landed right on one. And we were actually standing there like, do we pick this up and redo it again? And we waited. And I regret that more than anything, because we should have just grabbed the fucking die and then redid it, because it didn't tumble. And watching it, they made it look like it flopped around, but it did not do that. It hit the slide and dropped on one. And there was a lot of back and forth between me and Emily. And Emily's awesome. I'm actually seeing her this weekend. I'm going to Denver. I'm a Broncos fan, and so we're going to the Broncos Packers game. And I think Jeff and Perla are going. There's a bunch of us going to it. But that's one thing we regret. But anyway, we were up there and we went back and forth, because I was like, I don't need the money. I know she didn't need it. She's a pretty big influencer, but I was like, I don't need the money. Like, I don't care, because she had a pretty good idea it was the right slide. I was like, well, let me go. Like, no biggie. And she felt so bad because she rolled it. But I was trying to give her reassurance, like, dude, I could have rolled a 1. Like, it is what it is. But she rolled it, and thank God. Like, I think she was the only one that picked like the right slide like the whole time. Well, no, someone else had to, because 3 people got eliminated by the slides. And then, so I can't remember who else picked the right
I
slide.
think it
Anyway,
was Mackenzie had to pick again.
yeah, okay, that's what it was. And she picked the right one. But yeah, like that was it must have been the second slide, because I think Zoe picked the wrong one just before that. But anyway, it was terrifying, because I thought Emily, there's a good chance I've never seen Emily again. Like, it was awful. So it was kind of cool to get my clip of like, like super dramatic, like zoom in face, like staring and like hyping her up and saying, let's go. But yeah, she knew it. She said, I truly believe it's the right one. And she picked that one, and she came down, and there was a bunch of, they cut a lot out, but I mean, we made it to the top probably 5 more times. We rode down that slide, I know, for 3 times, that same one, dude. We just kept hitting it over and over. And that was demoralizing. And that, again, being the competitor I am, it's really hard to like lose by a game of chance, especially when the room is so small. There's only like 12, 13 people, 15 people left. But I would play with Emily again. I got no will. Like, it is what it is, It is what it is.
Did y'all ever receive a card where you had to give another team any type of disadvantage? Because we only see a couple of those handed out, and I'm assuming there was more.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is kind of going back to a minute ago when I was trying to make points about stuff they left out. So this is another good example. So when we only got the card once, and I thought, I never gave up going into it, because like Mackenzie and Pearl up there, I'm like, dude, we just keep rolling fucking 6s. We're going to go all the way to the top. And then we hit the twist card. I'm like, yes, this is our chance. But we get the twist card, and that's the only one we got the whole game. And it was like pick 2 teams to swap places. And we asked, and they cut that out. So, because a lot of people just assume like we just gave the game away, which I would never give up $4.5 million, no matter how much I like Mackenzie and Perla. But we asked, we're like, can we switch places with them? And they're like, no, it's got to be 2 other teams. That's why in the shot I was laughing, because I was like, this is the most pointless card ever. So Mackenzie and Perla just ended up switching places. I think they were side by side when they switched too. But yeah, that was the only card, and it was not helpful. It was not helpful at all.
The most pointless card in that specific scenario, had there been more teams on the board, it definitely makes a bigger impact.
Yeah. But with 3 people or 3 teams left, and the other 2 teams is just have 1 person per, it's kinda pointless. Yeah, pretty
Could
bad.
you imagine if somebody was at the starting line and they were where Mackenzie and Pearl are wearing the whoop,
Yeah, I know,
walk
and then I
in.
would have been a monster. You know what? I probably had more edit time if I did something like that, but and speaking on that, like, I'm really happy with how the show turned out. I thought it was great. I think that a lot of really cool characters, like, weren't featured enough, like Emily and Mackenzie, like, those 2 like, even AJ that played with Kate, she's an amazing person too, but, like, we just weren't dramatic. We were all just really friendly and just, like, kind to each other, and, coming out of it, it's kinda silly because like, the last 10 months, because I knew our interactions. I mean, I'm hanging out with Jeff and Pearl and Zoe and Kurt this weekend, like, we're all still really close. I came out thinking, like, I was gonna be one of the more featured ones, and then come to find out, like, it just ended up being a whole entire drama, but it is what it I think I'd do better on, like, Big Brother or something where they couldn't edit it out, but still it's still crazy. Like, I sound like I'm ungrateful, but making top 15 is still so cool. Super cool.
Well, absolutely as well, because you get to play on this incredible set.
Yeah.
I mean,
So cool.
the sets were awesome this season. Mingle,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yes, dude, I actually Mingle was, like, perfect down to, like, the smallest detail. I like Mingle more than not the game. I like the set more for Mingle because it felt like we were on the K-drama. Like, it was, like, to the T like, to the like, the paint, everything, it was just immaculate, and it was huge. Like, it looked so much smaller on screen than it actually was. Like, this room was massive, but, yeah, Slides and Ladders was I mean, it was fucking massive. It was so cool, but there and I'm sure other people have told you, there wasn't a huge drop. We were, like, ground level, so it was just really, I don't know. I thought it was kind of bad CGI, making them look like they're falling forever. But I'd have been more creative. I'd have put like spikes and shit at the bottom or like alligators or something. But yeah, they were on the ground floor. But it was like 5 stories tall. It was huge. It was so big.
Yes, so when we're watching this, we know that no one is falling completely such
Yeah.
as that. It brought back the glass bridge from season
Yeah.
1. I still don't actually know. I need to see if I can figure this out, and maybe you know. Do you know how far they fell in that one?
I think they fell a little. I don't think it was a crazy amount, but I know that. Well, I don't know that. I heard that they had stunt doubles that would come out. Like they would land on a spot, and they knew that they were gonna be eliminated, and they would swap them out with like a double to like fall down. I don't think it was a super far fall though. Maybe like 5, 10 feet at the most.
That's interesting because that's different from what y'all have with the slides because they showed a behind the scenes clip where you see where it actually comes
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I don't know if you see my comment. I think it was like the most liked one on there, and I was just like, "I love y'all, but you didn't have to explain this," like because their caption was like, "No one actually really died playing Slides and Ladders." I was like, "I don't think you needed to." I mean, it was cool to see behind the scenes, right? Like I was just making the joke, but yeah, I think they actually had a stunt though, so they'd come out and they had another person that would go down into the pit or some weird. I don't know. It was weird, but.
You know people are going to have those comments. Did they
Yeah.
really die playing this
Yeah,
game?
I know, right? It's crazy. It's great, but I know this isn't what we're talking about, but none of it was scripted. I've been seeing that more than anything. I think the edit like weirdly made it feel scripted at times, but none of the games were like Mingle was Mingle. Like it was insane. And then like people were like, "Oh, you didn't know like you were gonna be paired up, to play marbles." Like none of us knew what games we were playing next. Like no one knew we were playing Mingle till we walked in there. And then we got done and like we had no concept of time, right? So and the only way we would find out like the time was like if we would like be shoulder surfing like a producer and they had like a phone and like we would see the time. And we like one of us found out like we got done playing Mingle at 4 a.m. We played like 11. I'm gonna say like 11, 12 rounds of shit, and we were exhausted, man. We were so and they made us eat that we took like an hour long like lunch dinner break, whatever that was in between, and none of us wanted to eat, and we were just all exhausted because like half of our friends were dead, and we were like also like trying to cope and like we're going through like this crazy like adrenaline rush, it was great, but like we did not know marbles was coming. We just like we had a plan. Like so, I paired up with Lizzie a lot because we were so close with Jeff and Perla and Zoe and Kurt. Like we were the odd ones out. Like they're gonna pick each other because we're related. So every game we played, like mingle or catch or whatever, me and Lizzie were always like marbles. We play marbles. So we knew like going into it, if they were ever going to say two, like I would grab Lizzie because I didn't really have anyone, everyone, most of the people in our group, um, they were related. So yeah, I'm kind of rambling. Sorry.
Go for it.
Yeah.
We're hitting every box
Yeah,
here.
you know what's crazy? I know I sound childish not watching the finale, but I guess it's just how I cope. But I've not really talked about it at all since the finale. Like, I don't know. I've just kind of like it was really cool, and I'm so happy I did it. But like, it was such like a small part of my life. You know what I mean? So I'm as I'm talking, a lot of stuff is starting to come back up. I guess so.
All the memories are coming back. But let's hit on Mingle because
Yeah,
that is the intense game that everyone has been raving about. Everyone
yeah,
has been talking about. You have the people, as you said, that think it's scripted. In my personal opinion, what I've always said on this, y'all are exhausted. This is
so
coming.
tired.
So people don't realize, unless you're a huge reality TV person that analyzes these games and knows these games, if you're a casual viewer, it's different. But
Yeah,
people don't understand. You are playing these rounds for hours and hours. It is not as quick as what you see on the screen. So by that point, when you get to your breaking point, which many people did, we saw the
Mhm.
happiness from the beginning. Happiness went to total destruction, disaster, we're
Destruction,
tired.
dude.
Exactly. And so then your mindset is not even fully processing at that point what could be coming next. You're just thinking, how am I getting through and surviving this? So when you get the two, you're not necessarily thinking, how am I going to split up from the closest ally that I potentially have?
Right, right. And we, going in, so that's a whole backstory. I actually made a lot of people mad that I've not like publicly ever talked about, but I'll give you the tea. It's all good. It's been a month since it came out. But so going in before Mingle, I was really close to like Levi, Jenny, Britt, and Alex. And I don't we had a vote. We had that's when we voted between Matt and the twin. And
Yes.
I'll be honest, I voted for Matt because I didn't trust the twins. Like the twins were always manipulating people and they were being sneaky, like the whole catch thing, like convincing their whole team that they had to be in the front, even though all he did was push a button. And I'm sure they had the read. I didn't hold it against them, right? So anyway, what I'm getting at is they come out with the O patch, and then I had the X patch because like Matt is Matt. Like Matt was a good dude. He was just very New York, very black and white, and I could handle black and white versus someone I didn't know what was going on in the background. But so not that they click, but like when people get these patches, it's super awkward, right? Because there's like not animosity, but you're like there's a lot of disagreements. Anyway, they kind of clicked up, not intentionally away from us, but they were kind of hanging out with the twin, and we were kind of hanging out with Matt. And almost immediately after, we had to get in line. They're like line up for Mingle, and the little group I was in, which was like Chris, Tiffany, Jay, Lizzie, all those people I was talking about. So we were all in a group, and I was like, hey, because I was always fucking scheming, dude. And I was like, hey, like if this is Mingle, the best number is 12, right? Because it's divisible by 6, 4, 3, 2. And anyway, we found our 12 right there. And then, I wasn't worried about me. Levi was honestly my best friend in the place up until he got eliminated. But I wasn't worried about them, and I wasn't like not wanting to play against them. But anyway, we figure out our 12, right? Because like I'm also like trying to look out for everyone too. And we go in there, and then they just, I don't know. I won't single anyone out, but they just automatically assume like we like betrayed them, and they were so like they refused to play Mingle with us at all. And like what? They ended up like getting eliminated because they assumed like our group was just abandoning their group because they voted out. It was so fucking stupid, man. But that really messed me up for a bit because I felt like I don't have in my DNA to betray anyone, but when they were accusing me of that, it really bothered me. But like people cope in stressful situations, all kind of reasons. But anyway, our group of 12 was so tight the whole time. Like we weren't shown that much in Mingle. The only Mingle shot I had was telling Natalie to get out because she wasn't part of that's why I was like, you're not part of the group. Like we've been so tight this whole time. And she tried I wish they'd have showed it, but she was trying to push me out. It kind of looked like I was being aggressive with her, which I might have in in the moment, but she was trying, and I've got no, I didn't even know Natalie going into that really. But yeah, I think that we were just so close too, and just so tight. We had a game plan like for every number, every round, and it just wasn't very dramatic for TV. But dude, I am fucking yapping, bro. I'm fucking yapping, but try to give you some behind the scenes stuff too. But yeah.
I love it. And as I said, when you go into that type of game, just the intensity of it alone, you are going to see people stress
Right.
because you're on the platform. You don't know what number is going to be called unless you had the advantage for the very first number.
Right.
Other than that, it's a complete guessing game, and you have to have people all rallied together. However, you have to also account for you can have the floaters that
Yeah,
are
yeah,
playing in the
for
game as
sure.
well that are unpredictable with where they are going to go. So there's so many added variables when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and it's called mingle for a reason, right? You're supposed to mingle and work as a team or work together, right, to make it through. And it just if you refuse to work with other teams, it just made it impossible for them. So I hated to see Alex and all them die, but uh, they didn't want to work with us. So like it is what it is, dude. It is what it is, bro.
You
But
can't force someone to work with you, and when they choose not to do
yeah,
so, then you're on your own. I gave you an opportunity, you
yeah,
didn't take it, so I have to go with a
yeah,
different group that is willing to work with me.
yeah. It was dude, it was the most stressful thing ever. And but I don't know, I would do it again. It was weird. It was like I know we talked about a little bit like me doing like my Ironman training stuff. Like going, dude, I'm getting so corny on you. I'm so sorry. My work email is like blowing up, but so I'm sorry if you hear the dings. But I don't know. It kind of proved like to me and like a lot of others like we're like capable. Like you know what I mean. Like life is not that life was dull, but I couldn't just come out and like live normal after like experience like crazy shit like that. So I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun like pushing my body and seeing what like other like peaks I can reach to, if that makes sense. So I don't know why I brought that up, but I'm gonna blame my ADHD. But there it is.
Well, you can't compare this experience to anything else.
No, you
You know what
can't.
I mean?
Yeah,
You're not practicing any of this. Yes, you of course can practice the games, but you're not practicing the mental state that
yeah,
you're going to be in, the people that you're going to be playing with.
yeah.
Every cast is different.
Right.
Say if you played season 1, could have been a completely different
Could have been.
outcome versus playing season 2 because
Right.
people make the difference in the game.
For sure. For sure. And it was a good group, man. Like, 170,000 people apply, but the Netflix and like the welfare team, like they know like what they're doing. Like we all not I mean, not everyone, right? You had like your bad eggs in there for sure, but like overall, as far as a whole, like 456, I feel like most of us got along like almost immediately. And like that's another thing. Like my best friend I was talking about lives in Kentucky. I might talk to him an hour a week. I'm so sorry about my dinging over here.
I can't even hear it, so you're all
Okay,
set.
okay, perfect. But, I might talk to him an hour a week, but, being in the dorms and you have no outside distraction, you got no cell phones, you're not drinking, there's not we're eating horrible food together, but we're basically forced in this environment to get along and interact, or we're just like it just becomes impossible. Like time is just too slow. Anyway, I got along with people like Jeff and Perla. Like no offense, like I would probably never get along with outside of the games too. But I guess what I'm getting at is like a lot of people apply, but they knew what they were doing. Like they knew most of us would get along. They of course picked guys like Matt, guys like Isaiah, guys like like ones that can like stir the pot a little bit when they're in there. But I think as a whole, like most of us got really close, and we're still super close to this day. So that was mind-boggling because again, like a lot of these people are like really close family friends for forever now.
It's so interesting too to hear because some people are even close with others that they didn't even see meet in the game, but they have that
Yeah,
shared experience with one another where they're
right.
able to connect afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, it's so cool. Like Zoe invited me to her wedding. It was insane. It was so insane. But yeah, I'm thankful for the experience, and I'm especially thankful for like people like Emily and Mackenzie who will always be in my life, and Zoe, Kurt, and all them. But it's still really hard for me just being the competitor to make it that far and not like and only lose the game that needed like the luck of the die. That I don't know, but things happen for I'm not a big believer in fate and all that bullshit, but like things happen for a reason, and like I'm super motivated to like just do more of my life and just keep having more like crazy adventures and experiences. So it's super cool. I'm glad I did it.
Right on. I love to hear
Yeah.
that. And even too, you talk about the luck. And you
Yeah.
got the sprinkle of luck here and there on your side as well. I mean, if
Oh,
you
for
go,
sure.
oh, you're out right away.
For
So
sure, for sure, for sure. Oh yeah, I mean, there's so much luck going into it, and I'll admit it, I'm slightly being childish, I guess, but just like rolling the die, just losing that way is just so shitty, man, so shitty. And to make it to the top, dude, just make it to the top, first team, and then we just can't finish it out. So that's all good.
Yes, that was the one that was tough to watch because everyone's like, "Whoa, Orange!" They're all set to go, and even when you're talking about
Yeah,
the dice, we see that in season 1 as well. Some
yeah,
people get out by the number that they roll. It's just
I know.
brutal.
And then like poor people like Ashley who got, when Natalie eliminated her with the nesting doll, like that would have bothered me way more than losing slides and ladders. Like just getting singled out like that, like just super random. So yeah, there was definitely a lot of luck on my side, but I guess if I could, I don't know if I'd play differently if I'd do it again. Because I didn't play any of the mini games, but I was trying to win the money, and like all like my people like close to me, like around, I was just like, I'm not risking shit, dude. Like the scratch offs, like all that sounds fun, but like I wasn't gonna, you know what I mean? So, which wasn't good for TV time either. Yeah. So,
That's what makes it so difficult. You have to have the balance of, okay, is the risk in my best intention to help
yeah.
me get forward into the game, or do I want to take the risk here, get some screen time out of it, hope it
Yeah.
pays off, and then I can continue moving forward in the game, or I got my
Yeah.
screen time, but I got eliminated very early.
Yeah, and I'm biased obviously, but I think if it would have been more of a comedy, it would have been a lot better show. Because I think like we had so much fun, and they made some people like Vanessa. I thought Vanessa had such a bad edit, and she was like a dude. She's a badass, bro, and she's so funny and kind. Um, I don't know. I love again. The show was great, but and I think if they would have made it more realistic. I don't know, show a more personal side of people, right? Versus the super dramatic, overwhelmed, stressed out. I don't know. What do you think about that? Am I coping too hard?
So here's my thought process when it comes down to all this. I
Yeah.
think they got a ton of feedback from season 1, and
Yeah.
a lot of people had an issue with the top 3, people not knowing who was in the top 3 at all, aside from Mai. We knew who Mai was, which is
Right.
why everyone probably thought that she was going to win when you saw who the top 3 were at the end of the day.
Right.
You knew Phil was probably coming in second, and honestly, it slips my mind because there's too many of you who
Right.
even was on 3rd place on season 1. I apologize, but it is very difficult when you talk to so many people to remember
Yeah.
everyone, so I'm stuck on season 2 names for the time being.
Yeah.
And so now this season, they did try to give more of what I would say a balanced edit throughout the entire series of who ended up being the winner. And then
Yeah.
also a couple people that did finish within the top 5. But then you always have on any reality show, I would say, that one person in the top 5 who we still don't know a ton of information about,
Yeah.
unfortunately, which sucks because why can't we slot in
Right.
every single one of them? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess it would drag it out too much. And I'm sure, Squid Games or Studio Lambert probably had a contract or whatever that they can only do 9 episodes, right? It's impossible to squeeze everyone into 9 episodes. Um,
It is.
I
You
think,
had one less episode than season 1, and I think that was a huge game changer there in itself.
yeah,
And the fact of the matter is, they cut so much
so
versus
much,
the
dude.
X and O. That lasted 12, 13 minutes of the very first episode. So then you're already wiped down to half the cast in itself
Yeah,
from there.
it's crazy. And then, yeah, pentathlon. I was shocked, like at the pentathlon edit too, because dude, our game was insane. So, and again, I get you have to highlight the twins and Kurt and Zoe. Like coming out, I knew that Kurt and Zoe would have like the main edit because we all like Kurt and all of us watched Zoe play like it was crazy as fuck. Um, but like, dude, our game. So when you walk in, well, when you go in the white room, they're like 5 groups of 10. You don't know what you're doing. Like none of us knew. Like we had an idea it might have been pentathlon, but no one knew. Anyway, you usually the 10 that you lined up with were all like your friends, people that you're pretty close with. So anyway, you go in and they cut the group in half. And then I was actually super close. This is when I started getting close with Jeff and Levi and Chris. Jeff and Chris, who made it super far, were in this pentathlon and they chose not to highlight it, which I thought was odd anyway. But that other team was stacked, and I was really close with Derek on the other team. And when we were playing, so I knew Bob had like they didn't even show Bob at all, but Bob was this older guy. Toupee, super nice dude, but he had like a really bad leg, and I knew that going into it. And I'm really good at cornhole, so I'm like, we'll let Bob do ball and cup. I'll do throwing stone because I can hit it, and then I'll help Bob. I was helping Bob walk around, but anyway, the reason why the game was so crazy is the other team was on House of Cards, and Bob was still doing ball and cup. We were down 4 games to 1. Bob finally gets it. I hit the stone first throw, and then Chris does gongi super fast, and then Levi and him and the other guy, they're doing cards at the same time, and then almost get done exactly the same time. And then excuse me, sorry. I just swallowed my gum down the wrong hole. Sorry. But anyway, so Jeff and Steve are doing Jeggy at the same time. I'm not even joking. It was like a photo finish. Like we crossed the finish line just before they did. And that's why like we were screaming and crying and freaking out because I thought my time was over. When they were on House of Cards, Bob was still, he was on that bitch for like 4 minutes. It felt like forever. But we were all going into it. We're like, no matter what, we're going to be encouraging. Like we were quiet. We were like, Bob, you got this. You can do this. And it was just like boom, boom, boom. We came back, and then it was like a photo finish. And that, I don't know, that was kind of disappointing to watch it turn into like a full blown montage because I thought that was like so crazy to come back that far behind. But yeah, I think we all wish it was like twice as long, and they would have showed some of those cool parts that a lot of people didn't get to see. But yeah,
I think people want to see the full highlight of their pentathlon matches because everyone has said, well, there's a few, I will say, that were not as good, but other people have told me the same exact story as yours. It was a very close matchup. It just wasn't shown.
Yeah. And I understand that because you got Zoe and Kurt and you got the twins, right? Those are focal points that early on in the show. So it makes sense.
But do you think they show the twins matchup for the twins, or do you think they show that matchup because of Sydney?
Dude, Sydney's pretty big on TikTok. Doesn't she have like 3 million followers? But the twins are big too. I don't know. I think they showed Sydney because of the twins, in my opinion. I feel like you had to have some kind of dynamic with the twins. I feel like the twins were shown a lot more than they were deserving of the first 4 episodes because they were actually super quiet. I mean, they were sneaky as fuck, but they weren't very vocal, I don't know. I don't feel like they had a lot of friends in there. They just kind of stuck to each other the whole time. But I mean, they volunteered, so I get you have to feature them, right? Like, and then the whole drama with them, with the other twin, I don't remember their names, but the other twin picking the 3 to eliminate that one night, which was crazy, dude. Standing there and you just hear pops, like it was like, what the fuck is going? Because none of us knew at the time. What was fun? Another thing they cut out too was like Chris that made it super far. He made it Circle and Trust. Him and some other people did chores that night. They didn't show hardly any of us doing chores, and I thought. I knew Chris and I liked him, but I was like, dude, you eliminated these people. Like in my brain, I'm like, Chris did this. I didn't even think the twin did it, you know? So there's like a lot of stuff that they left out too. But yeah, I feel like Sydney got it because of the twins, but Sydney's, dude, she's massive on TikTok. She's super big, like 3 million or something followers on TikTok. But
she is. I'm going to stand on the opposite approach on this one and go, I think they're shown because of her. And here's why I'll say this. Because I know you say that they have to show the twins, and I get that. However, they're shown enough leading up to the pentathlon where I say that matchup happens and they see what Sydney's doing in this matchup, and then they hear her do a couple sound bites, a couple confessionals. Yeah. I think it's shown because of her. Yeah. I truly believe. I think if they go up against a different team where it's not as chaotic all over the place, I don't think there's a shown. I think they choose another one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. I don't disagree either.
It was good though. I mean, I needed it there for sure. It was fantastic. Yes, I was a fan, no doubt about it. But I am saying, I think it does help and benefit that you had Sydney over there on the other side going against you.
She's very interesting too. Wasn't she the one that said like you can be what and spoiled? What'd she say? Something about being spoiled and good or kind or something.
Spoiled like but not rotten or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Right. Right around that track for sure. But she was great casting. They did a phenomenal job with her. Yeah. You know, if that's the thing about Squid Game though. If you get small little segments out of somebody, they don't have to stick around for the entire time. You just need that little quick soundbite section, and then you're good to go.
Dude, I was happy for Mark and his edit.
Yes.
He was a super nice dude, man. Super nice dude. I'm being super controversial, but I'm happy Viper won the. Here, hear me out. This is probably not. I'm probably talking too much, but I'm happy it was Viper. I wanted Zoe to win the fan vote thing, right? But and I think Zoe could go back and win. And no offense to Mark, but like the games are fucking crazy stressful, right? And I think Viper had a better chance than all of them except Zoe to go back in there and win again. You know, if that makes sense. I'm trying not to put my foot in my mouth too much. You know what I mean? I think Mark would have had a hard time going back in there and winning for season 3. That's super controversial.
I think Mark disagrees. So I had Mark on the podcast, and I think
I
Mark
like Mark. I think Mark is nice.
I know
Yeah,
everyone loves Mark, but Mark
yeah,
would disagree because Mark was looking at it more of the stance of the social aspect of the game. Mark
yeah,
was probably never going to get eliminated if it came to chance where you had the 10 coin, such as that. He feels as though he would have had, I believe he told me at that point going into catch, he felt 5% chance to win the game potentially, where he
yeah.
knows other people had a 0% chance to win the game
Right.
because he said he felt so comfortable with everyone that was playing in the game and that he didn't feel as
Yeah.
though he had people that were willing to target him.
Yeah, dude, and when Ryan said that shit to him, that didn't just make their team mad, that made everyone because we all heard him.
Yes.
That was such bullshit. Like, even though, like, I'm not saying everyone didn't think that, but like, call someone out on fucking TV in front of everyone like that was such a coward move, man. And I'm not saying Mark couldn't win. I'm just saying Viper Viper had the best chance to win out of that group, I think. But again, I didn't really talk. I talked way more to Mark than I did Viper. I don't even think I even said one word to Viper the whole time. Mark was super nice, dude. He said my favorite movie was a 10 out of 10, so that guy's good in my book. Oh, wait. He said Tombstone. Tombstone's my favorite. He said it was a 10 out of 10. So he's
That's
always
what
good.
you want. You always want to hear the 10 out of 10. I
Yeah.
will say I think that amongst not including the twins,
Yeah.
because I was kind of shocked that they were both up there. Not to say
Same.
that they're not interesting television. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but I'm saying
They've been
based on the
targeted
number,
so quick.
the pool of people, I was expecting a different top 5. Now,
Yeah.
what I say with Zoe, Mark, and Viper, I think anyone that would have went back, I think people and viewers would have been more than fine with.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was surprised to not see August in there after his
Yes.
edit. Yeah, I thought August would make the fan vote for sure. I mean, obviously I tried, but I knew in my edit it wasn't realistic. So
But that's what it comes down to as well, because the twins have a huge following. So if you have people that are willing to vote for
right.
you, which that kind of does tell me that it's not rigged. The fact of the matter is that they were both
Yeah.
on the ballot for it. That makes me feel better because I go, okay, your vote actually matters for these
Yeah.
people.
And Mark is probably like everyone's gonna remember Perla, but I feel like most people are gonna remember Mark too. I feel like Mark is gonna stand out from that show for a long time. I agree.
Definitely.
And I hope you don't mean and Mark, if you ever see this, I hope you don't mean I was being like mean or anything. I just thought that Viper had a better chance. Like, you know, if like people are gonna go in there, I want to vote for someone that I think is gonna win, and I thought Viper could go in there or Zoe could go in there and win it versus Mark and the twins. That's all I was saying. So hopefully it didn't come
I
off being cruel or anything. I
No,
wasn't trying.
I don't think it
Yeah,
comes across that way at all.
yeah,
I think because the way Mark explained it to me, and I could totally see the vision behind it, because a lot of the game is you being good with other people and then
yeah,
surviving the games that you have to go into.
yeah,
So there's give and take when it comes to it. And that's
yeah,
why I always say, dependent on what the game is
yeah.
and who the people are that you're
Right.
playing with, it is the entire game changer. We could see Viper go out there. And if Viper doesn't find a close group of people, or there's other
Yeah,
people saying, Viper's here, I want to target Viper right away, because Viper already had a chance to play. So
yeah,
you have various opinions, and it's all going to come down to what the season 3 cast wants in general, because other shows, when a returnee comes in, are we working with the returnee? Are we targeting the returnee? You
yeah,
typically don't see people on the neutral end of it. You see one
yeah.
way or the other.
Yeah, I feel like Viper's in a good spot going back too because he's not going to have a lot of targets either because there's going to be a lot of empathy for like how him Dalton, I think was his name, and how he acted. By the way, that whole thing got edited way differently than I thought it was going to be too because he was like he called like Faith like a fat bitch like and every like right in front of all it was like the dude was crashing out so bad. such a coward move, and like the fact that he dropped it after doing all that was insane too. That was great. Like we all felt for Viper, and the fact like none of us knew Jonty voted for him too, which was insane too. Like you can't like that seems so scripted, but it was not scripted. It was just a wild outcome of the game. It was so crazy. So great.
On paper, Jonty made a really awesome guess for who you thought was going to survive the game, because they did not know what the game was going to be before they had to pick their person to back, I don't think.
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
I don't think they knew what the game was before they had to select their person to back.
Yeah, no idea. And then funny enough, like when they did their little speech, like August and Heath, when they came back, like Heath actually was like, I almost picked you, Justin. But they cut that, which is fine. But he's like, I almost picked you, but I ended up going with Emily. And I can't remember why he said he went with Emily, but he just went, I don't remember why he said it, but yeah, they had no idea. But we all knew Viper was athletic too. So it's just crazy. He out of all the people, he picked him, and then the most insane dramatic situation happened between like that's unreal. You can't make that up. That's crazy.
No, and even from Jonty's perspective of what's going on, they are showing them what is happening. So they're seeing it on screen in the real time. And I can only imagine what's going through Jonty's mind saying, oh shit, this is insane what I am watching right now. Because you hear Jonty say, Viper's all the way in the back. I'm all set. We're good to go.
Dude, and Jonty was interesting too. I'll go on record saying I enjoyed Jonty's character because like he was acting most of the time, but he was just having fun, dude. He knew it was his moment to shine, and he was just like they didn't show a lot, but the dude would walk around the dorms with his shirt off all the time, just being like not like extremely sexual, but just just he was just feeling himself, being alpha male or whatever you call it. But I enjoyed it, man. There was a lot of people that rubbed wrong, but I thought it was fun, dude. I'm like, dude, let him have his moment, man. I mean, good for him. I'm not gonna act like that. I'm too dumb to have a persona or be someone I'm not. But I enjoyed Jonty. I think he could have got a little bit better at it. He was in there a lot, but he was one of the main characters, I thought, before he got eliminated. Just because he had so much fun.
Was.
Yeah, just because he had so much fun. Now the crying stuff, I think that kind of hurt his image a little bit, but because no one believed it. No one believed it. Dude. And I'm grateful too, because I cried so much, Lauren. I cried not like ever playing a game. It was always when someone got eliminated. It was always like after the fact. Like I cried after we figured out our line and catch, because like we had a pretty good plan, and then when they're like get your spots, like people panicked. Like there was a lot of people that moved to the front that weren't supposed to be in the front, and like Chris was in front of me, and he was just like he turned around and looked at me with like tears in his eyes, like, bro, I can't catch this ball. I'm like, oh my God. I felt so responsible. It's just so silly. But like I cried so much. Like when we had a vote on, the people that had like the worst times on their pentathlon game.
Yes.
Like that was hard for me because I knew I hit the throwing stone like first throw, and we knew something bad was going to happen if we voted to keep them, right? We're not just going to be able to keep them and like nothing bad. At Squid Game, something bad was going to happen. So I was worried that they would eliminate the people that had the best times. Like, because I was also like, I don't know what's going to happen. And Chris, the older guy, was up there, and me and him got really close too. I actually was talking the other day. He's wanting me to come down to Mississippi and go fishing with him. But when I was walking up, dude, like he knew I wanted him to stay, and he was pointing at the X. And I just fucking lost it, dude. I just started crying right in front of everybody. And so I was so worried that they were gonna show me crying, and all my friends are just gonna roast me continuously, because I haven't cried since like my wedding day. But I cried so much on the show. And Kevin, even towards the end, he was like, he's from Kentucky. He grew up with like 4 people, like leave him alone, But yeah, I don't know, man. I just got really close to everyone, and it just I knew they weren't actually dead. It just sucked because they had dreams and goals, and they had reasons why they were there. And it was hard to watch people get eliminated. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't show me cry. So that was good. That was actually a good part of my edit.
I was going to say, so you're okay with that not being shown? That did happen for you in the sense of, could you imagine if they just showed those moments?
Oh my God, dude. Like poor Mackenzie. I was talking to her and she's like bummed about hers because she's like, dude, they just show me fucking crying the whole time. She's like, that is not dude, Mackenzie was so funny and so cool and laid back. So yeah, on the flip side, it could have been like Mackenzie and they just showed me cry the whole time. And it'd been honestly my worst nightmare. So I guess I should be a little more grateful.
You do get the flip sides when it comes to that for sure. And now I do want to jump into the twists of some of these games that occurred within the dorms, all this and that. And one I want to touch on first was the monitor twist.
Oh, you're talking about the door monitors at the end?
Yes.
Yeah, so I know I just said this earlier, but I wasn't gonna volunteer for anything. And actually Max was wanting to stay. He's like, bro, Max is so funny, dude. Max deserved a way more edit too, because me and him, I told him all the time, like, dude, you remind me of like me like 15 years ago. Cause he's like 22. He's like a kid. But I just remember like trying to talk him out of it. But anyway, he signs up. Well, we go back and forth because Matt was like, oh, I deserve to be it. But like, no, Matt, you've had enough spotlight, dude. Like, let them do it. But that was crazy. Because like, funny story. So you seen they got like pancakes and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
It was awful watching this happen. So anyway, the so the set was in this huge old Air Force hangar, and we were like living in a box inside the hangar. And outside the box is where like the medics and producers, not everyone was. So we would go out all the time because we were all sick to the medics to get like electrolytes or Tylenol or whatever. They called Tylenol something else in the UK. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, when I was out there, I was like, dude, I smell a fucking cheeseburger. I smell a cheeseburger out here. And they're like the floor producers like, I can reassure you 378 there's no cheeseburgers. I'm like, dude, I can smell it, bro. Like you guys have been depriving me from real food for like 2 weeks now. I can smell it. And then sure as shit, lunch was like an hour later and here they come out with fucking Big Macs. Like I was like, God, I knew it, dude. Jimmy was the floor producer. I was like, you lied to me, dude. I knew there was cheeseburgers back there. I could smell them. But we all knew something bad was going to happen. They got treated too well. Like they had like the big, like plush, like red comforters and all that shit. Um, I don't know, man. I think, and I like Kate, and maybe my give a fuck button is gone. But I think that I don't think that it should have just been Isaiah and Max duking out. I think they all should have figured out like the other side. I don't know. I like Kate a lot, and she's got her kid issue and all that stuff. But I don't know. It was hard to watch Max just sacrifice himself because he was so good, dude. He was such a kind kid, man. And watch him just give up his stuff like that. I wasn't surprised, but I feel like they all should have played. And also, like, I knew Isaiah was a fucking turd, man. Like when he got that cake, I was like telling I'm like, this is perfect because he's like, dude, I'm just spewing on. I don't give a fuck anymore. I guess Lauren. uh, um, whatever. It's just pixels. They can say what they want online. It's just pixels. But like when he got the cake, I was like, dude, this is perfect because I seen right through that nice guy act from the beginning, dude. And I was shocked at how many people did not see it. And I was careful too, because so I was like talking to Zoe and Emily later on. I was like, oh my God, like Isaiah, like I do not trust Isaiah. Like we got to get rid of Isaiah because like he's always up to no good. And then anyway, he got that cake. And then watching like him beat Max at the dorm stuff, it was just luckily it worked out and Claire and Mackenzie got rid of him. But yeah, that was tough to watch Max go. Max is a really good friend too. I don't know if that answered your question, but there was some behind the scenes stuff there for you.
We love the tea. We love the behind the scenes. And
Yeah,
so that's even what I say where you're talking about the other room where they chose for all three of them to play.
yeah,
But Greg makes the mistake and goes, no, we're doing two. I
yeah,
think if they
yeah,
do the one,
yeah. It's been different.
I think they're good because Karim was the one out. And so Greg
Yeah,
pushing for the two misses it the next time and then has to wait for Karim to miss again in order for Karim to take off the patch. I think they
yeah,
get through if they just
and
do the one.
and and I also heard that Greg took a long time to want to play too. And the reason why Greg, and this is another thing that left out, the reason why Greg got picked, and it might not have meant anything, but you have to be careful when the group gets so small like that. Like tensions are extremely high. Like you have to be careful what you say. Like Isaiah saying like he would stab him in the front. Like granted, he was being vocal about not like backstabbing anyone, but people like they hear things differently in these games, right? Well, Greg had a we got like the coin. We were doing chores or something, and he got the coin, like the 10 coin or whatever. And he automatically was just like, let's eliminate someone. And people remembered that, and they automatically just assumed like we can't trust Greg. So that's how it was odd seeing Greg watching the show, because he is a nice person. He's a super nice person. But when you say things like that, like people hold on to that. Like when he made that comment, like that's why he got picked, is because like, okay, we can't trust Greg. I don't know why Karim got picked. I know he had kind of like a villain at it, but me and Karim we were always cool. Like I'd never seen him being manipulative or anything. Like he was super friendly. But I was actually surprised and impressed with Matt coming up with the game with the behind the back. Like I thought
Mhm.
that was a super good way to do that versus rock, paper, scissors. Because you can't do rock, paper, scissors 3-way. I guess you could do like I don't know. I guess if they would have played Kate, like if Isaiah would have, I don't know, or Max would have played Kate. I don't know how that would have worked out. But I thought, like, shout out to Matt for coming up with that. Like I thought that was a really good idea to do it that way.
You mentioned that Greg got a 10 coin doing chores. Did anything come of that?
I think they ended up getting, so there was a lot of times that we got snacks that weren't shown. I think that time, I can't remember, Lauren, if it was Sour Patch Kids or Cheetos, but there was a time later on that me and Chris and Perla and Kevin were doing chores. We were weighing rice. Like it had to be like 100-gram bags of rice. It was supposed to be for dinner or whatever. I don't know what they actually did with the rice, but we got a coin too, and we automatically chose to buy Cheeto. I think it was Cheetos. They got Sour Patch Kids and other snacks, but yeah, he made the comment about holding onto the coin or eliminating some. It was something like that. Not that he was being other than strategic and playing the game, but you have to be. You had like the group was so close. Like anyone was holding on to any reason to get rid of someone, right? Like you know what I mean? Like without themselves looking bad. Like if Isaiah didn't say that, I think a lot of people would have got mad at Claire and Mackenzie for eliminating Isaiah. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
don't know if that makes sense. You have to be careful what you say that far. Not that anything that they're saying is not correct. We're all playing a game. We're all there to win, but you have to be careful how you choose your words and use them, right? So that's why I didn't say shit, and that's my fault. And again, that's probably why I didn't get much edit. But I was just, people would ask me questions. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna do whatever my wife and my kids would want me to do. Like that's it, dude. Like I'm not here to fucking be impressive or backstab or do anything. Like I'm gonna play low key and just compete in the games and try to win. So,
People can also manipulate the words as well. If you're a huge gamer, you could say, "So and so said this,"
true,
just to get
true.
the target onto them. So it's give and take. Am I trusting the words that
Yeah,
I'm hearing from this specific person about another person that was said? And then
right.
you get the whole chain of it all. So it's really difficult to be
Yeah.
able to trust one another. But that is interesting because we haven't really heard on this podcast yet that many more coins were found. And I find it interesting because I would think more people would have tried to eliminate.
Yeah, but again, like it's going back to like how they picked like the group that they did to go in the games. Like we were all like really close, like friendly. Like they didn't show a lot, but like me and Kevin would play like sock baseball for hours. Dude. Like we were all hanging out, playing games. I felt like everyone got along. And again, you had a few eggs, and I feel like I've called out a lot of people, and I'm gonna try not to anymore because that's not. I don't want any more drama in my life. But I mean, there was a few people you wouldn't get along with, but for the most part, I felt like we were all like watching each other's backs. So for me, it wasn't a question. If we got the coin, like use it for the food. Like let's play a game. Let's level playing field. Let's play games, and that's how you get eliminated. That's kind of how I approached it. But I feel like most of us did too. I don't
It's
know.
a good way to approach it, but then you also have some people in here there who are the cutthroat gamers
Yeah,
who have lies, come in
yeah,
with the lies. I
yeah.
mean, you had Eric
Yeah,
there. Eric
yeah,
was always
dude, that
playing
was
that avenue.
crazy. That was crazy. I wish that motherfucker a happy birthday and all his shit, dude. I didn't know that happened. So I got eliminated slides and ladders, and then the next day, Melissa and them got eliminated in Circle of Trust. And then Melissa told because when you get eliminated, you're not allowed to get your phone or anything. I was allowed to call my wife for like 5 minutes, but they want to keep your mind fresh because they take you back in the next day for interviews. So all day long I was doing I actually did the process room and the MIV for like 10 hours the next day. And then when I got back to the hotel, I seen Melissa there with Claire and Faith. And then yeah, Melissa's just like, dude, like Eric lied about all that shit. I was like, what the fuck? That is crazy. I mean, I get it because it's smart it's smart while you're playing the games, but it's I don't know. You can't escape that in the real world. I mean, people's always going to associate Eric with a fake baby, but like I get why he did it because it was smart to not have it because everyone's gonna they're gonna have empathy for someone that's got a kid on the way, and he had this crazy story about how his father was a sperm donor. He's got like 120 siblings, like a lot of crazy shit, dude. I don't know if the sperm donor thing is a lie or not, but I get why he did it. But that's crazy. I could never lure it, dude. I don't know why it's so weird for people just to be themselves, dude. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, as
I mean, there's
you
money on
brought
the
up
line.
early on, the reality TV world isn't not necessarily your entire world. When you
Yeah,
have people that follow and analyze and talk and
yeah, true.
play these live games before going on to an actual show, they're
Yeah.
thinking about any and everything before they enter into the game. What can I do to get one step ahead of
True.
everybody else?
True, and funny enough, like, right before I left, I was talking to my wife. I was like I almost backed out. I was like, "Man, I don't wanna be on TV, dude." Like, I'm such, like, a private person too, but I mean, I'm glad it but I get it. I actually signed up for Survivor, and I've never seen Survivor, but it's only because other people are like, "Dude, we love that. We would love to have because like, to your point, they're like, everyone that goes on Survivor are usually super fans. Like,
Mhm.
we would love to have someone on there that doesn't know anything about it. So, yeah, that makes sense, and I get that. I don't know. I told you I don't watch much reality TV. Like, I watch like football and like shit on Netflix occasionally, but yeah,
And then you ended up landing here on Squid Game. So,
I
I
know.
mean, it can happen for anybody.
It,
You just never know at what point in time in your
yeah,
life is it going to go this direction or that
yeah.
direction.
And I would do a show again for sure. I think it's highly addicting. For I would do it. I would do it again. I would do like I haven't signed up for anything other than Survivor and The Amazing Race, but I would do like Traders and all that and Big Brother. I would love. It's so much fun. It's stressful, but it's fun because you're not like you said. You're not going to experience anything like that in the real world. Like it's a once in a lifetime. Like I don't know. You like again. You can prepare for it, and you can. I guess you can prep a little bit on your strategy, but like it's a once in a lifetime. Like there's no training. There's no way to really process it either once you get out. We have these therapy appointments, but like it's hard to talk to like my wife or my friends about it because they weren't in there like experiencing like what we did, you know. I don't know. But I'm having fun. Thank you for letting me ramble so much, dude.
For sure. And you hear from so many people, you have this experience, and there are moments where it's very complicated, very, very difficult. But then when you get back and you process it all, everyone goes, for the most part, not everybody,
Yeah.
I have the itch to do it again.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
sucks for a ton of the time, but I
Yeah.
want to do this to
Yeah.
myself one more time.
Yeah, which doesn't make much sense. The only thing I can chalk it up to personally is like I'm just competitive. Like it just I guess part of me wants to go back and prove that I could make it that far again. Like it wasn't just like a coincidence. Like I'm able to do it, you know. Granted, I know realistically if I go back, I could have picked the O side and been gone first day. Like I understand that, but part of me, I guess how I'm wired is like I can go in there and do it again. Like there's nothing, you know. It's kind of corny, but there's nothing I can't do. So part of again, that's why I'm training for the Ironman to kind of like prove that, you know, if I put my mind to anything, I can do it and do it the right way without manipulating or you know being someone I'm not, you know. So
You want to do it the true, honest route, and
yeah,
that's okay.
yeah,
Just know
yeah,
not everyone else is doing that.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's a superpower, but I feel like I'm pretty good at reading people too. I don't know. I feel like that helped me in the games too. I don't know if it's childhood shit or what, but I feel like I got a pretty good vibe check. Like I'll toot my horn and I'll take it to my grave that I knew Isaiah was not a nice person before just about anyone else did. Because the producers pulled me out because I did a lot of interview and they weren't shown either. And they're like, who's someone that you don't trust? And I was like 4'10. And this was like before catch. And they're like, what do you mean? Like what? Like no one's ever said that. I'm like, dude, he's a fake nice guy. It's so obvious. So sorry, Isaiah. I'm sure you're a super nice dude in real life, but I'm sorry. I'm not a liar either. I don't
I
know.
take it you do not communicate outside of the show in
No, I
any
don't talk.
way?
No, I talk to like Jeff, Perla, Kurt, Zoe, Emily, Mackenzie, and well, I better keep naming names or someone's gonna get their feelings hurt. Jenny, Ashley, Alex. Yeah. Other than that, Lizzie. Other than that, Vanessa. I talked to Vanessa too. Other than that, no. There's about 20 people I still talk to.
Well, I mean, everyone's always going to have their tight, small groups because
Yeah.
you cannot be friends with everybody. It's
Right.
impossible.
Yeah, but like I don't know, and to each their own. But a lot of these people have made like Squid Game's their whole identity too. Like coming out, I know it was a crazy experience, but um, their TikToks and their Instagrams is just still constantly Squid Game stuff. Like I'm more than that. I know that sounds arrogant. I'm not trying to come off like I'm better than anyone else. I'm just like I'm a whole ass person. Like Squid Game is just like a really cool thing I did. So
I think everyone just processes it differently as well too, because you have people such as yourself where you have a family.
yeah,
You also have the background of this is not my lifelong dream of doing a show such as
right,
this. And then you have the other perspective of some of these people that have been applying for shows for years
true,
and
true,
years and have been following since they
true.
were young kids. And so it's a dream for them to do so. So then you have kind of the two different sides. And then you have some of the middle people where I know reality television,
Yeah,
but I haven't dabbled too much into it. However, I want to play because I'm competitive. So
yeah.
everyone has their own story and their own thought process with how
That's
they go into a game and how they come out of a game experiencing it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and I completely agree. And I'm not saying the way that I'm handling any of this, social media or anything, is the right way. I feel like the people I've like connected to it the most since it's been over are people that, you know, they realize that they have other, stuff going on in their life versus all Squid Games. Like if I was to hang out with a group of people that were on Squid Games, it wouldn't because it would just be all Squid Games theme. It'd be because we enjoy our company and we're out, at a beach or doing run of the bulls in Spain or some crazy shit together because we enjoy each other's company, not because we were contestants on a show together, if that makes sense.
Definitely does for sure.
Yeah.
And right on to that too, because everyone has their own individual mindset of how
Yeah.
they process and take away from the
Right.
experience. And yours is different than the next person to your left or
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
And
For
that's
sure.
totally fine. And
For
that's
sure.
why the show is so unique because they bring people from literally everywhere that have different backgrounds, that have
Yeah.
different mindsets and ways that they're going to approach. And this is why reality television is so popular because of all those various components.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing. It's so cool. I mean, I'll do it again. I just sat here and went on a big ramble. That's not my whole life, but I would do it again for sure. So I get it. It's so much fun.
Is there anything else, Justin, that you want to hit on before we wrap up the podcast?
No, I think I rambled enough, Lauren. Thanks for, dude. If I don't think anyone wants to go inside my brain for even 5 minutes. So, what do they call it? Neurodivergent. I don't know, riding the spectrum a little bit, but no, I appreciate you having me on, and it was fun chatting with you. Just let me know if you want to talk again. This is fun.
Absolutely. We talked a ton of content here, so you were able to say what your mind was exactly thinking for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Of course. Well, Justin, such a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody else, be sure to check out everything we have going on the Reality After Show. I'll be back with more Squid Game, The Challenge Season 2 interviews. We have the Survivor podcast. We have the football podcast, and I'll be wrapping up 99 to beat as well. Justin, such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can I plug my Instagram?
Yes, plug away, please.
Yeah, just my first and last name, Justin Poloni. That's it. Instagram.
Simple as that.
Thanks.
Thank you. Everyone else, take care.